A myth is somebody's truth, a mind looking for assurance. Usually, it's a mix of facts, fiction, and myth that binds a community together by giving them a common worldview to function within. Science can tell you how the world functions, but only myth tells you why it functions the way it does. Usually, myths are so immutable that they remain unchallenged despite strings of contrary pieces of evidence. Well, mythology is not the only source that gives birth to commonly accepted myths. There are a whole bunch of myths that has managed to grow itself into a gospel truth outside the ambit of mythology. Since myths, irrespective of its origin, serve to encourage and influence worldview, it becomes much more important to revisit and scrutinize them with a certain degree of objectivity. Here are 4 myths to unsubscribe from. Number 1, the myth of accumulation and ownership. It makes you believe that you need to accumulate a lot of knowledge, socially accepted titles, and worldly possessions before embarking on your most cherished life-altering journey. It makes you feel more and more inadequate. Almost all of them play tricks with your evolutionary psychology of fear, failure, and inadequacy. As a result, you become pretty convinced that as soon as you succeed in getting rid of all your inadequacies, nobody can stop you from becoming the next Elon Musk. Number 2. The myth of control. Our minds are evolutionarily conditioned to appreciate the certainty. We love stability in our life, so much so that we become stressed at the very thought of uncertainty in any form. The moment we foresee any loss in our control, we become way too apprehensive about the outcome. We often try our level best to cope up with this uncertainty by making an endless to-do list, finding that perfect productivity app, or mindless consumption of television and smartphone. Number 3. The myth of happiness. If only you could earn more money, be in better physical shape, or have a more understanding partner, you would have made your unique mark on the world map. The image of the world that you carry in your head is just a representative model for your convenience. And you use the images to represent the real system. Being happy can never be the direct purpose of your life. However, it can be the byproduct. The purpose of life is not to be happy. It is to be useful, to be honorable, to be compassionate, to have it make some difference that you have lived and lived well. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Number 4, the myth of work-life balance. This myth is sold primarily by stoking the fear of insecurity in you. All kinds of sufferings, physical, emotional, psychological, social, and financial are targeted. As long as we are struggling with the constant fear of suffering, security will always remain our first and the foremost concern. And this constant fear of suffering is not the best place to explore all your unlimited possibilities of life. Once you are willing to venture outside the shadow of insecurities, there will be an instant realization on your part that it's only work if you don't like it. Be inspired to action 2020.